I'm going to spend most of the show today talking to you about Alberta and what Danielle Smith, the Premier, is doing to fight back in a deeply serious and fundamental way to the war being declared on Alberta by the new Prime Minister, Mark Carney. But first, I want to talk for maybe 5 or 10 minutes about the results of the election. And again, I'm going to let it go, but there was something I noticed today that I thought you might find interesting. Now, some people say I'm being too positive about the election results. I mean, a close second place is just a fancy way of saying loser, I guess. And when measured against the benchmark of what 6 months ago we all thought would happen, of course, it was a disaster on Monday. I'm not thrilled that Pierre Poilievre lost his own seat either, but that's what a combination of redrawing a riding to change its demographics, and mass migration will do to a country or a district. We'll see how he remedies that. Now, I have not heard a single Conservative, other than the Conservatives in name only in Ontario's provincial PC party, and they ran a demoralization campaign against their federal counterparts. I haven't seen or heard a single real Conservative Party member call for Pierre Poilievre to step down. The opposite. The result, 41.3%, was the highest the party had received since the 1980s. Trump was obviously a factor, but his comments didn't seem to put that much of a dent into the Conservative vote at all, actually. Let me show you the polling again. I don't always trust Wikipedia. You always have to check the sources and the links, but Wikipedia is good at compiling things. For example, they have every single poll done in the 2025 election campaign. So scroll down here and look at the dates. This is every poll by every single company. As you can see, sometimes there are several polls every day during the campaign. So Poilievre wound up with 41.3% on election day. But scroll, and other than one smaller pollster called Main Street, which had the Conservatives at that level in a couple of polls, there wasn't a single poll that put the Conservatives that high in the entire campaign. So the campaign exceeded every single pollster's prediction, except for those few from Main Street. But actually, my real point is this. Keep scrolling down to last summer and spring. So I'm talking about 2024, when Justin Trudeau was still in power, when Mark Carney was frolicking in Europe, and the Conservatives were looking great. But look at what you see there. The Conservatives were at 40, 41, 42. The odd poll put them at 43 or whatever. Do you see my point? Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives actually did as well as pollsters said they would do back in the glory days of 2024. Even with Doug Ford's griping, the Conservative vote held. All that changed, obviously, is the controlled demolition of the NDP and the Green Party. Tell me where I'm wrong. That's the difference between operating in a multi-party system versus a two-party system in a center-left country. And it was so noticeable in Jagmeet Singh's speech on election night. He didn't express a drop of emotion or concern or remorse or sorrow about the detonation of his party. He really didn't. He mentioned it in passing. He seemed quite glad that he lost. Why would he want to stick around and preside over the wreckage of what he had just ruined? Here, let me choose a poll at random from last April. Here's one from a French-Canadian pollster named Pallas. I frankly haven't heard of them, but I just picked it at random. You can see what I mean. In this poll, 41% of people were for the Conservatives, 26% for the Liberals, 18% for the NDP. So that's when everything looked awesome, majority government territory. Then the NDP and the Greens quit, and their vote went to the Liberals, and the Liberals won. I'm not making excuses. I mean, a loss is a loss. But the Conservatives performed as well on Monday as the polls said they would have performed a year ago against Justin Trudeau. It's just that the opposition was split then, and it united during the campaign. So sure, the Trump factor hurt, but I think only in terms of pushing the NDP and the Greens behind the Liberals. I don't think it chipped away at the Conservative numbers, not in any meaningful way. All right. Thanks for letting me get that out of my system. But seriously, don't you think it's interesting that the Conservative number on election day really didn't change from their numbers last year? I don't know. I think it's interesting. What we do with it, I don't know. Fact is, Mark Carney won.
Let's face it, Canada's economy isn't heading in the right direction. Inflation's eating away your savings, and government debt is out of control. No politician is going to fix that overnight. With Guildhall Wealth, you can hold real, physical gold and silver inside your RRSP. It's a time-tested way to protect your retirement and take back control of your wealth. Call 1-877-8-SILVER or visit guildhallwealth.com/rebel to request your free investor kit. And hey, make sure to mention Rebel News.